From the News Channel 5 Network and the Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development, this is State of the Workforce.
And welcome to State of the Workforce. I'm Chris Cannon. Today we are talking about the Tennessee Titans, their One Community initiative, and the workforce and development strategy and safety strategy for the new Nissan Stadium. But before we get to that, we have a workforce update for you. Last time we talked about Tennessee's state-funded youth employment program called YEP. Well, that program overwhelmingly was a success across the state, and we recently celebrated that success in Louisville, Perry County. Governor Bill Lee traveled to the Buffalo River Resort to see firsthand the impact YEP is having in that community. These young Tennesseans gained so much more than just a paycheck. They ended the summer with real life-changing experiences. And the resort's owner hired 14 teenagers to work on the river this summer, and the YEP paid their wages. That saved the owner $60,000. And that's money he can now reinvest in his business and that community. Nearly 5,000 young Tennesseans and 1,200 employers took part in the program. And now, today's workforce focus. The Tennessee Titans and the workforce behind the new Nissan Stadium. Johari Matthews is the Vice President and Executive Director of One Community Foundation and the Titans Foundation, and she's here today, and thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Chris. It's a pleasure to be here.
First, let's tell folks what One Community is about and the whole initiative behind that.
Sure. So One Community launched about a year and a half ago through the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans Foundation has been around for as long as the Tennessee Titans have been here in Tennessee. And we've done some incredible things through the Tennessee Titans Foundation. And it became a pivotal moment for us as we started to talk about a new stadium, what the future of the Tennessee Titans looks like. And that included our community impact, how we were leaving our print, our touch on Tennessee. And we wanted to think about how we could go deeper and wider using the resources that we have. We always say that we have Nashville's biggest stage. And so the things that we do on the field are important, but what we do off the field is even more important. And so we launched One Community, which is a focus on 3 areas: opportunity, neighborhoods, and education. And it's where we choose to give our time, our dollars, and our energy to really support everything geared towards generational change. So it is thinking about how we can create and have an impact across our state, creating generational change for individuals, families, and communities at a time. And in those 3 areas, it is comprised of a number of about 15 different programs, working with 20 different community partners, and an investment of annually about $20 million a year in everything that we'll talk a little bit more about. But yeah, it's an exciting time for us, but this new stadium was really a catalyst for us on how we could go deeper in those 3 ways.
And how's One Community going to impact the opportunities that come from not only when the stadium is built, but building the stadium? Yes. Is such a massive project.
Which is something that we took very, very important. It was a critical conversation for us at the Tennessee Titans. I'm a native Nashvilleian, and so I remember when the first stadium was built, back when it was Adelphia Coliseum. And although I was a young child, I can't point back to opportunities where as a child, I said, hey, I learned about this new gigantic stadium being built across the river from me. And we wanted to change that with this new stadium. We wanted to be able for local individuals, local Tennesseans, to be able to point at that when they're either coming to the stadium for a game or coming to a concert, and be able to point to their children and their grandchildren and say, hey, Pop put in the light fixtures at the stadium here. And so it was a critical time for us to really think about how we could create those opportunities. And we, worked very closely with Turner Construction and Tennessee's Builder Alliance to really think about how we could not only create jobs, but also remove barriers for individuals who may feel like they either do not have the skill set or that their background just didn't provide them with that opportunity. So One Community has done some incredible things to give the resources, the tools, but also, like I said, eliminating those barriers so folks have access to being a part of this project.
And you need a lot of folks. Some of the numbers are staggering here. Daily employment at the peak will be 1,600 people on the site each day, for a total of 19,000 people over this 3-year span that they're building that. That's amazing. And then you're going to need to hire 400 to 500 contractors to work there. That's a lot of people.
A lot of people, but I like to look at it as a lot of opportunity. And so, you think about those numbers, which clearly shows that there is a job for everyone, whether you are new to the construction industry, whether you're thinking about a career change, or even if you're a small business or a business owner thinking about, hey, I want to take that next leap, that next step in my business. Like I said, we have provided a lot of training through you'll hear more about it later on, but through our workforce development training course, but also really leaning into our minority small businesses and thinking about how we can equip them with the tools and the understanding of what it's like to, submit a bid on a project. How do you, there's so many different, the terminology of even what a prime and a subprime. If you're new to that, how do you know? And so the programs that we're able to run through One Community really give you a behind the scenes look, but also insight in how to take advantage of these opportunities versus just seeing the cranes going up across Nashville.
How important are the partnerships with the local community organizations and state organizations to One Community and this entire project?
Yeah, we're a football team at the end of the day. And so as much as we like to take great pride in being able to do and be all things for our community, we know we can't do it alone. And so having partners in this is something that it's extremely valuable to us. And we know that again, we're a football team. And so trying to take a step back and really let the individuals, the partners that do this very well, saying, hey, can we just walk alongside you? We can use our platform to share the message and get the word out there, but we really need your help in getting the actual trainings and the resources out to the community. The partnerships that we've been able to build through One Community and through this project alone, we started with 16 partners on this. It continues to grow daily. And it's incredible to see, we're in the volunteer state. And so it's nice to see our nonprofits. It's nice to see our corporations coming together for a great cause to make this truly a generational change and impact for so many Tennesseans.
And so much forethought going into the construction process, but the final product is going to be community-based as well. The space itself is community-based.
Yes. So when we were designing the stadium, we really kept thinking about it as the people's house. How can we really make this something 365 days a year that it is being used, but also not just for football, and not just for events, quite frankly. Things that, when you need a space to convene your local neighborhood group, we wanted a space for that. If you have family here and you want to bring your family down to a nice place so they can enjoy the park or the scenery, the river, we wanted to be able to provide that too. I'm most excited for the community space that it's a 12,000 square foot space that will live inside of the stadium. And that is for our community partners. And so we wanted to make sure that we had spaces within the stadium and the stadium itself where, again, 365 days, you can look at that stadium and say, I'm welcome there. I have access to it. And this is a part of Tennessee. This is a part of me being here.
Our community. Well, Jahari, it's an amazing project and one we're watching right before our eyes take shape.
I know.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you stopping by today. Well, now that we have a little better understanding of the new Nissan Stadium project, when we come back, we'll talk about the unique approach the Tennessee Titans are taking to make sure there's a skilled workforce ready to build history in Nashville. Stay with us. It is going to take thousands of individuals to build the new Nissan Stadium and make it a reality. That's a lot of people in an already tight labor market. Beth Duffield is with the Tennessee Builders Alliance, and she's here to tell us more about the strategy going into getting people there to work. Good. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me.
First, let's talk a little bit about the Tennessee Builders Association, how that came about, and what it's doing for this project.
Absolutely. So the Tennessee Builders Alliance is a collective of 4 local construction companies. Our joint venture is comprised of Turner Construction, AECOM Hunt, Polk & Associates, and ICF Builders. And this group came together to pursue the Titans project. We share the vision of the Titans. What Johari talked about, creating a space that is a community-friendly, that is a state-of-the-art NFL stadium, but also supports the community that has stood behind the Tennessee Titans these last 25 years.
So you know the task at hand, and it's going to take many hands, though. We talked about the numbers a little earlier, 1,900 people per day, 19,000 over the span of 3 years. And like I said, the job market's tight already, and that's just a lot of people. So you had to take a different approach. What are you doing to get those workers ready and working?
That's a great question, and it's one that does keep me up occasionally at night.
I bet it does.
So we wanted to think more holistically when we put our workforce plan together. We looked at what the one community profile looked like and the platform of serving opportunity neighborhoods and education, and so we wanted to mirror that. And so our workforce plan is just not a one-size-fits-all. We're actually working with the K-12 students to help them think long-term about careers in construction, so focusing on career exploration, whether they work on the stadium before they graduate high school or not, just getting them thinking about those careers and those opportunities. Then we have created a pre-apprenticeship program that provides a 3.5-week training program that is kind of central to our workforce opportunity that helps them find jobs, hopefully on the project when they finish the class. And then we're also working with the Department of Labor to help individuals looking for jobs that may have higher level skills than someone that's coming new into the industry, to help them find job placement with the trade partners that are already working on the project.
And this all led to Titans Construction Training Camp, or TC2.
Yes.
What is that? It's right there at the site.
It is. So something that's really unique to this project is that we have our own workforce development center on site. We're part of Titanstown, this ever-growing space of trailers that will support the project as it continues to grow. So we have our dedicated space. It's a set of 4 trailers that were designed, and it's the 2 different classroom spaces, one for hands-on training so that individuals can learn more about tools and the trade, and then an in-person classroom where they're getting the book learning every day to help them earn 2 different industry certifications to help them be prepared for the job.
So who is the audience here? Who are you trying to get to come into TC2?
Well, TC2 is for anyone who is interested in starting a career in construction. Primarily, we're focusing on those that are unemployed, underemployed, youth. So we actually had a class this summer that included some of the YEP students that you mentioned earlier in the show. And we're also working with those that are just as involved. So folks that are interested in a wide range of ages and interests, who are all trying to get their foot in the door into a great career in construction.
So how do the classes work? It's a lot of hands-on as well as book learning, like you mentioned?
Yes. So we will hope to run a class every other month. We're getting ready to start our 3rd class here in August. We recruit for those through the American Job Center, so that's one of our unique partnerships that has been created through this program. Those that are accepted and get through the enrollment, they are on site with us for 3.5 weeks. They are paid $18 an hour for their class time. They have daily hands-on instruction. There are assessments that are taken because, again, they're earning 2 industry-recognized credentials, NCCER Core, which teaches construction math, power tools, hand tools, a little bit of soft skills to help them be better prepared for the job, and then OSHA 10 because safety is of paramount importance to us on the project site. And then they also get another tool called Ready for Industry, which helps them learn much more broadly about all the different types of careers that they could go into from this launching point with TC2.
And you said August, but October is the next class coming up, correct?
Well, we've got one coming up in August, but for the rest of the year, we have one in October, and then we hope to run them every other month in 2024 and 2025 and 2026.
And we're talking about credentials that go with you. So you're learning something, and if you do happen to work on this, the Titan site for the next couple of years, you have those skills now and you're even more advanced. So it's really a long-term goal for folks.
Absolutely. These are what we call stackable credentials. So these are industry certifications that get them in on the ground level. And then as they continue their employment, they have the opportunity to grow. So this is a pre-apprenticeship program registered through the State Department of Labor and Office of Apprenticeship. Those hours can carry into a full apprenticeship program. And we've worked with TCAT Nashville to create a carpentry apprenticeship. So ideally, someone comes through our program, they earn this pre-apprenticeship and those hours. They get employed by a company that wants to put them through this full apprenticeship program at TCAT, and those 100 hours will transfer. So stackability is really important to help people continue to grow through their career interests.
That's amazing. And if folks are interested in taking advantage of this opportunity, and really it's a life-changing opportunity, it can be for many people,
Absolutely.
What do they need to do?
So the best way to stay informed about what's going on the project is to visit our website, which is NashvilleStadiumConstruction.com. Click on Workforce. They can sign up to get email updates about when we're going to send out the next registration link for that program. There's also information there about our apprenticeship programs and other opportunities to connect with the Department of Labor for jobs, as well as the training program.
So NashvilleStadiumConstruction.com.
That's correct.
All right, and everything's right there, and it goes through. I've been on that website, and there's a lot of information about the different trainings and how to sign up. So
Absolutely.
It's very helpful. Beth, thank you so much. We appreciate all that information. Well, now we know about all the safety that's coming with this. When you have so many people on a work site, that's a lot of moving parts. The Department of Labor and Workforce Development does safety every day. And on a construction site, well, as massive as this one, safety is key. We'll tell you about a first-of-a-kind program with Tennessee OSHA after the break. This is State of the Workforce. Tennessee OSHA is a division within the Department of Labor and Workforce Development, and they saw a real opportunity with the new Nissan Stadium project. Garrett Ray is the Assistant Administrator with Tennessee OSHA. And Garrett, tell me a little bit about this partnership between Tennessee OSHA, TBA, the Titans, and how that all came about.
Yes, Chris, they'd actually approached us about a year ago saying we're getting ready to start this large project. It was a multi-contractor project. And they wanted to publicly show their commitment to workplace safety and health. Tennessee OSHA Consultative Services normally works confidentially, so this was kind of a new thing that we were going to try and pilot with them to work with them and do it kind of publicly and transparently as far as promoting workplace safety and health with them. So they've agreed to work with us, and we're going to be going out there about quarterly for the duration of the project.
Why is it so important to get in there on the front end when, to keep things top of mind on a project so big where there are so many moving parts?
Well, you've got, the four contractors that form the Tennessee Builders Alliance, but you've also got a lot of subcontractors there. And those four contractors, they're going to have ultimate safety and health responsibility at that site, but they're trying to set a tone. They're trying to show this is the way we are going to be and the way we're going to do things safely at this workplace. So if you start with that at the beginning, even in your bid process and everything, that's showing that commitment and showing how that they're going to be involved and the standard that they're going to be holding their subs to throughout that job.
So leading by example and showing this is every day when we come, this is something we're focusing on.
It's not, here's getting this done and safety over here. It's part of how we're going to do this project.
Tell me a little bit about the difference between a TOSHA consultation and then compliance, because there are really two arms to TOSHA.
Yeah. Tennessee OSHA, a lot of people think of enforcement. Those are the ones that they investigate fatalities, catastrophes, accidents, and employee complaints. Consultation is a little different. We actually come at the invite of the employer. The only agreement that they would have is we're coming out, but they're going to be required to correct anything that's found and report that back to us. With that, there's no penalties, fines, or citations as long as they are working in good faith with us to correct those. Our actual activity itself is confidential by rule. So, we don't release the things that we found out there, like in a compliance inspection. You can go online and see what was cited. Generally, also, while an employer is working with TOSHA consultation, they're quote-unquote exempted from general schedule or those unannounced inspections that enforcement will do sometimes, but enforcement would still have jurisdiction in the event of a complaint, a catastrophe, or an accident.
And of course, this is a massive project, but Tennessee OSHA can come in for a business any size and work these same type of results and get that safety at top of mind, which is so important.
Right. Typically, we work with smaller employers. This is kind of unique. We do have a little bit of wiggle room to work with some larger employers. So this was really an opportunity to get the safety out there with this project. It's such a big project. It's known throughout the community. So if we can just communicate that commitment to safety, that's a good thing. The unfortunate thing that we're up against is there's about 12 to 15 people in America that go to work and don't go home. That's ultimately what we, the contractors, everybody are trying to prevent at this site.
And what's so good is, you have 1,900 people on this site a day working. And if that's being instilled in their minds now, when they're done with this project in a couple of years, they'll move on to another project, but they have that safety skill already in them, so they take that with them.
Absolutely. One of the things that they've found, OSHA's actually done some white papers on this, is you see an injury and illness reduction at that site through that increased awareness, because now you know what the hazards are, you know how to correct them, and hopefully you're working and finding ways to prevent them from recurring. That's the real key thing. We see this, we now recognize it's a hazard, we know how to correct it, and we know how to go on in the future and make sure it doesn't happen again.
And this is a unique partnership with the Tennessee Builders Alliance and the Tennessee Titans, something that might be mirrored in other bigger projects across the state when they come about in future years?
Possibly. Like I said, we are piloting this now. We've just got it up off the ground, so we're going to see how this project goes. But, if we see some good results from this may be something that we do going forward.
And if a smaller business who's not building a huge football stadium would like to take part in the consultation, easy to get in touch with you?
Absolutely, yeah. We do about 300 of those bread and butter consultations for smaller employers. We do them through all kinds of industries, healthcare, the service industry, construction, general industry, manufacturing, that sort of thing. So if they wanted to get a hold of us, there's two ways they can do that. They can go on the internet and go to tnosha.gov, or easiest way is actually to go to the search engine and search TOSHA consultation. That's TOSHA. The other thing they can do is they can call us and speak to one of our consultants. That phone number is 800-325-9901.
All right, Garrett. Good information, and hopefully it is information people are taking. And thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Well,
Chris.
you can focus more on this part of the workforce development story and the safety strategy for Nissan Stadium by going to tn.gov/workforce, where you will find an in-depth article on this project. And that is the state of Tennessee's workforce. You can learn more about the projects the department's working on and the services we offer to better the lives of Tennesseans at tnworkready.com. Of course, you can find the department on all the social medias. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on State of the Workforce.